Right, picture this for a second. You chuck a bit of money into an asset, get on with your life, and a few years down the line, you check your portfolio and bam! You are staring at a staggering 13,000% return. I mean, it sounds like an absolute fantasy, doesn't it? Well, if you'd scooped up some Bitcoin in 2016 at roughly $500 and held on to it until 2024, when it smashed the 60,000 mark, that fantasy would literally be your reality. But hold your horses before you go emptying your savings account. Think about the flip side. Imagine buying in at 45 grand in May 2022, only to watch it absolutely freefall to 16,000 by December. We're talking a gut-wrenching 65% loss in just a matter of months. So yeah, the financial stakes here are incredibly high, and it's easy to see why this space generates so much excitement and, quite frankly, sheer terror all at once.
Hello and welcome to This Explainer. Now, if you clicked on our rather catchy thumbnail today, you already know we are diving headfirst into one of the most polarizing topics in modern finance. I am absolutely thrilled to have you here, because today we are peeling back the layers of that intense media hype to figure out exactly what cryptocurrency actually is, how it works under the hood, and why it's taken the entire world by storm. No confusing jargon left unexplained, no complex tech left untangled. We've got the whole shebang.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap for today. First, demystifying digital money. Then, unlocking the blockchain. Third, the Wild West of investing. Fourth, essential crypto terminology. And finally, weighing the pros and cons.
Section 1. Demystifying digital money.
So what exactly makes cryptocurrency so different from, say, the quid sitting in your mobile banking app right now? Well, the word itself actually gives us a massive clue. Crypto means hidden or secret, which refers to the cryptography keeping the data completely secure. And currency, well, obviously, that's money. Now, because it's purely digital, it has absolutely no physical form. So those shiny gold coins with the giant Bitcoin logo you always see online, yeah, they are literally just for show. Traditional currencies like the US dollar or the British pound are completely controlled by central banks. And when you want to send them, you absolutely have to have a middleman, like a bank or a payment app, to process it. Cryptocurrency fundamentally bins that middleman. It is entirely decentralized and peer-to-peer. That means you can send it directly to a mate on the other side of the globe without a bank ever getting a sniff of the transaction.
The modern story of all this kicked off back in 2009 with Bitcoin. It was created by this anonymous figure, or maybe even a whole group of people, going by the name Satoshi Nakamoto. Now, while you might see a picture of a Japanese bloke floating around the internet linked to this name, the absolute truth is nobody actually has a clue who Satoshi is. The original intent, though, was pretty revolutionary: to create a currency completely free from government and central bank control. Interestingly, while it was designed to be used as actual everyday money, and actually in places like El Salvador it still is, for most of the world, those wild price swings we mentioned make it a bit useless for, say, buying your morning flat white. Because of that, it's largely morphed from a standard currency into a highly speculative investment asset.
Section 2. Unlocking the blockchain.
Now, to understand how this works without a bank, think of the blockchain as, well, Bob's notebook. Imagine Bob has a notebook where he jots down every single transaction. Once a transaction is written in ink, it is locked in forever. It can't be erased or messed with. But here is the absolute genius part. Bob isn't the only one with the notebook. Everyone in this massive global network has an exact real-time copy of it. So if someone tries to hack the system and alter their own notebook to give themselves a bit of extra cash, the network simply looks at all the other notebooks, spots the odd one out, and completely rejects the cheat. Each page in this digital notebook is what we call a block, and when a page gets full, a new one is added to the chain. And this brilliantly illustrates why it's called a blockchain.
Let's break down how this actually looks in practice. When you send some crypto, the transaction gets broadcast to this massive global network of computers. These computers are run by people we call miners, and they basically race to validate your transaction by solving these insanely difficult mathematical puzzles. This whole system, it's called proof of work. So the miners use incredibly powerful computers to crunch the numbers, and the moment they solve the puzzle, they confirm your transaction is legit. The data is permanently glued to the block, and boom, the transaction is done. Now, you might be wondering, why on earth do these miners spend so much cash on electricity and hardware to do this? Well, it's because the system actually rewards them with brand new cryptocurrency for their hard work.
Section 3. The Wild West of Investing.
Okay, let's talk about the sheer scale of this volatility, because it is truly dizzying. Just look right at these numbers. If you're a traditional investor who's used to the stock market, these figures are absolutely mind-blowing. Up top, we see that dream scenario we kick things off with, a 13,000% surge from 2016 to 2024. But right below it, the absolute nightmare scenario. Imagine buying near the peak in May 2022 and watching 65% of your hard-earned wealth just vanish into thin air by December. It is an absolute roller coaster. And honestly, this extreme instability isn't just a Bitcoin thing. It applies to the vast majority of the crypto market.
So what exactly is driving all this madness? Well, sure, standard things like supply, demand, and tech upgrades play a part. But the stark reality? Crypto volatility is massively driven by speculation and media hype. Investors often just chase whatever narrative is trending without actually understanding the underlying asset. Like, remember when the media announced ProShares was launching the first Bitcoin ETF? Excitement just went through the roof and the price of Bitcoin rocketed to $65,000. But then, flip the script. When a major global superpower like China announced a massive crackdown and ban on cryptocurrency, absolute panic set in and the price nosedived to $29,000. It's a hyper-reactive market, which makes it notoriously tricky to predict.
Section 4. Essential Crypto Terminology.
Right, let's rapid fire through some of the jargon you constantly hear in the news. First up, altcoin. Now, Bitcoin is the granddaddy of them all, often dubbed digital gold because of its capped supply and high value. But it is definitely not alone. An altcoin is quite literally an alternative coin. That means absolutely any cryptocurrency that isn't Bitcoin. This covers major, serious projects with totally different tech uses like Ethereum and Solana, all the way down to those internet joke meme coins you've probably seen, like Dogecoin or Shiba Inu. There is a whole universe of altcoins out there.
Next up, we have a fork. And no, I'm not talking about the cutlery. In the crypto world, a fork happens when a coin's community has a massive disagreement over how the software should be run or upgraded. This results in a literal split into two entirely different versions. An absolutely perfect example of this with the birth of Bitcoin Cash. You see, a chunk of the Bitcoin community really wanted to increase the block size to speed up transactions, but the rest of the group vigorously disagreed. So what happened? The network split right down the middle, forging two separate paths, the original Bitcoin and the newly minted Bitcoin Cash.
Then we have wallets. Now, this is a bit of a misconception. It is absolutely crucial to understand that a crypto wallet doesn't actually store your digital coins. Your coins always live on the blockchain itself. What your wallet is actually storing are your secret digital keys. So a hot wallet is one that's connected to the internet. It's brilliant for quick, easy trading, but naturally it's a bit more vulnerable to hackers. A cold wallet, on the flip side, is completely offline. It often looks just like a standard little USB thumb drive. It is incredibly secure from online threats, but it comes with a very real physical risk, because if you lose that drive, you lose access to your crypto forever.
And honestly, speaking of losing a cold wallet, we simply have to mention the utterly tragic tale of a British chap named James Howells. Get this, his ex-partner accidentally threw away his cold wallet hard drive. A hard drive that just so happened to contain the private keys to 8,000 Bitcoins. Oh, it hurts just thinking about it. He has literally spent years desperately begging his local council for permission to dig up the municipal landfill to try and find it. It's a slightly funny but deeply, deeply painful cautionary tale that perfectly hits the nail on the head regarding the immense responsibility of looking after your own private keys.
Section 5. Weighing pros and cons.
So, the crucial point we are arriving at is balancing the undeniable, game-changing benefits of this tech against its glaringly obvious risks. On the pro side, you've got decentralization. That means no single government or central bank can just arbitrarily devalue your money. Accessibility is another massive win. Literally anyone with an internet connection can get involved, completely bypassing the endless red tape of traditional banks. It's also remarkably flexible. I mean, the crypto market never sleeps. It's open 24/7, letting you send funds across the globe at lightning speed for very little cost. It offers enhanced privacy by encrypting your data. And finally, of course, the sheer potential for high returns. We already talked about Bitcoin, but consider Dogecoin for a second, an asset that at one point delivered a breathtaking 600% return in just 3 months. I mean, not even Warren Buffett can boast numbers like that, right?
However, we have to be real here. Those pros are heavily weighed down by some very severe cons. We've hammered home the extreme volatility. You can quite literally be rich and poor in the exact same calendar year. Also, that enhanced privacy we just praised, unfortunately, it makes crypto a major hotspot for illegal transactions and money laundering. Then there's the massive regulation uncertainty. Governments around the world are currently scrambling to figure out how to handle all this. In fact, crypto regulation is a huge, highly debated topic in the 2024 U.S. presidential election. Furthermore, the whole space is practically a minefield of irreversible scams. Because there is zero consumer protection, meaning there's no friendly central bank you can ring up to reverse a dodgy charge, if you accidentally send your crypto to a scammer, that money is just gone, forever.
Which is exactly why the biggest, most important takeaway from today's explainer is this: do not fall for FOMO. Let me say that again. The fear of missing out is hands down the absolute worst investment strategy you could possibly have. While the underlying technology is undeniably brilliant and fascinating, the risks are very, very real. You absolutely must do your own thorough research, understand the nuts and bolts of what you're buying, and never, ever jump in blindly just because you saw a coin trending on social media.
So I'm going to leave you with this final, rather provocative thought to chew on. As the initial Wild West hype inevitably starts to settle down and global governments finally step in to set the rules, is cryptocurrency actually going to be the decentralized future of our everyday money? Or is it simply destined to remain the world's most fascinating, utterly unpredictable investment asset? I'd absolutely love to know what you think. If you found this explainer helpful in clearing up some of the crypto chaos, please hit that like button and subscribe for more explainers just like this one. Cheers for hanging out, and I'll catch you in the next one.